Hello and welcome, fellow film buffs. I'm Hunter Van Leerup, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host and fellow cinephile, apparently Kim Possible, Zach Droll.
Yes. Hello.
Beep, 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 beep.
Go ahead. That's my ringtone, guys.
We are the Box Office Losers. Each and every week, we deep dive into the movie sphere to watch and review any and all films to ever grace the silver screen or your TV screen. This week, Zach, what the fuck are we talking about?
We are talking about Chasing Amy.
Another View Askew, baby. Woo woo.
But a side thing before we get into our review, we want to give a brief shout out, and hopefully you guys are safe out in Texas. You guys are getting hit with the worst winter possible.
Texas has winter?
Right. Have you not heard? Texas got hit with a massive snowstorm, and their power's been out for a while.
Oh, geez. I heard something about that the other day on a podcast or something. Like, oh, man, hope your power's okay. And I was like, that's weird. Why would you say that? Like, my power's fine.
Yeah, no, but, yeah, so I know we have some listeners out in Dallas and Houston. We do, guys, hope you guys are all okay. We definitely know how a winter storm feels, but you guys are not built for a winter storm.
They ain't built Fort Tough.
They're not. Like, apparently, like, going up by, like, a lot of people have lost power, and they have lost heat in their house, and their houses are not made for winter.
Fun.
And their houses are dropping to, like, 20 below.
Oh, my God, dude. No, thank you. Hard nipples all the way around. Pass.
Well, yeah, guys. We do hope you're all okay. And maybe this podcast can give you some enjoyment as
some
we
levity.
bumble through some bullshit.
Yeah.
But yes, we are talking about Chasing Amy. It is a 1997 American romantic comedy drama film written and directed by the one and only Kevin Smith.
Hell yeah,
this
man.
film stars, we'll get into that, but this film is about a male comic book artist, Holland, who falls in love with a lesbian woman, Alyssa, to the displeasure of his best friend, Banky. It is the third film in Smith's View Askew series.
By the way, this does not age well.
Oh, no, this film... Ooh.
He falls in love with the lesbian. Sure, that's possible. It's doable. Love is love. But then he's like, hey, man, you're not gay, right? And I'm like, that's not the way you present that.
See, hey, let's go back to last week. A guy was pursuing romance with a girl who was not ready to be committed.
Relationship. Oh, yeah.
And then this guy, you have a guy who was like, I gotta turn this girl, like, straight or bisexual.
Which is not, that's not how that works.
It's not. Like,
they make a joke about it, which is quite funny, when he's like, can I tell my friends that you just needed a deep dickin'? I thought that was funny, but definitely not appropriate. If I was dating somebody who was like that, like they were bi, but more towards female, and I was like the one guy, they wouldn't, I feel like I would get slapped in the face for that one, not just hit with a pillow. That's like an insult. I know it's like funny, and he presented it in like a comedy aspect, but
even Banky's fucking dialogue does not age well.
Yeah, but yeah, Banky is a little
oh my gosh,
he's a little on the risque side of this.
Once you see my notes, I go like 13 minutes in, did not age well.
Yeah, man, but hey, it is what it is. Kevin Smith wrote movies with realistic dialogue in the time that they released in, and hey, can't fault them for it. So, at least I personally don't. I think it's of the times. You can't just think a million miles ahead. You're writing dialogue that people would actually say to each other, especially between friends.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Do you want to get into this cast for us?
Yeah. So this is just a pretty good cast. We got Ben Affleck as Holden McNeil. Dude, Affleck is great in this. We got Joey Lauren Adams as Alyssa Jones. We got Jason Lee as Banky. We got Dwight Ewell as Hooper X. We got Jason Mewes as Jay, and Kevin Smith as Silent Bob. We also have cameos from a bunch of people who were part of the View Askew stuff. Walt Flanagan shows up. Dante shows up. Matt Damon shows up. So
we also got a cameo from Ben Affleck's brother.
Oh, Casey Affleck's in this?
Yep.
Where? I didn't even see him.
I think at the beginning where that guy he was talking to the other kid is like, this guy's a tracer.
Oh, yeah, I guess that young guy does kind of look like Casey Affleck back in, what, 2006 this movie came out in?
No, 97.
97, oh my god! I thought it was 2006 for some god-awful reason. I mean, I guess 97 makes more sense for the time.
The Twin Towers were shown in this movie.
Dude, fucking, I didn't see that. I wasn't really paying full attention to the background. I was trying to more pay attention to the dialogue, because, spoiler alert, I've already seen this movie before. It's one of the movies on the podcast that I've seen, and I was just paying attention more to the dialogue, which we'll get to later, because it is fun, but not, obviously, like we said before, not aged well.
Now, very surprised to me, this film cost $250,000 to make.
That's not a surprise. There's, like, nothing happening.
I know,
like,
but still,
budget-wise.
when
like, they had an apartment, they went to a hockey game, and it might not even been a hockey game they actually went to. It might have been, like, a blank wall that they sat in front of, and then they just had a hockey game filmed over it, and then they had, like, the fight scene shoved in there.
And this film made $12 million back in the box office.
That's solid. That's really good.
It made back the budget, and
I think this was Kevin Smith's big break, well, budget-wise at least.
I thought it would have been Mallrats.
Well, no, we saw Mallrats wasn't as good as it didn't break the bank as much, from what I remember. I remember it like just barely making its budget back, and we know Clerks did fairly well, but that was his first movie, so. You know, got to give or take on that. I think this is the one that really skyrocketed him into, oh shit, this guy makes movies. You know what I mean? Even if they did make mention of, oh shit, that girl who died in the YMCA, that was your friend? Like.
Oh, yeah. At,
the View Askew ties.
At Mallrats, it was a box office bomb. It did not make back its budget.
Yeah, that's how I remember us talking about. Because it was more, that one was more of a cult classic as opposed to the other ones. I know Mallrats is a cult, not Mallrats, Clerks is a cult classic, but that one made its money back from at least what I can remember. We talked about that one too long ago for me to be like, yep, exactly. So.
Oh, thinking of Clerks, I got a Clerks poster now that I got from the poster shop at the mall.
Nice, dude. Did you got it framed, or did you just get the unframed one?
I got it framed.
Nice. You gonna hang it up?
It's already hung up. It's hung up as my backdrop.
And you didn't send me a goddamn picture, you son of a bitch.
Okay, hold on a second. Get into the first part of the notes. I'll send you a picture.
All right, so hopping into our notes section. The film was originally inspired by a brief scene from an early film by one of Smith's friends. In Guinevere Turner's Go Fish, one of the lesbian characters imagines her friends passing judgment on her for selling out by sleeping with a man. Smith dating Adams at the time, he was writing the script, which was partially inspired by her, Adams being Lauren, the Alyssa character. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they dated for a brief moment right before he met his wife. The film received mostly positive reviews, praising the humor, performances, and Kevin Smith's direction. The film won 2 awards in 1998's Independent Spirit Awards for Best Screenplay and for Best Supporting Actor for Jason Lee. Dude, Jason Lee was really good in this movie. Like,
oh, he was.
Mallrats came out, 2 years before, and that was his first acting gig? That means this is probably, because I don't know this 100%, his second acting gig, and he blew it out of the park. And I love how Ethan Suplee Lee was also in this, which means, like, yeah. the My Name is Earl, like, you know, comparisons just keep going. I know they don't really interact that much. They interact at the beginning and the end. But it's cool to see Ethan Suplee Lee and Jason Lee in something that isn't My Name is Earl before My Name is Earl took off.
I'm still saying if they bring back My Name is Earl either for like a final movie or a final season, just throw in Jay and Silent Bob in there for some reason.
That would be funny. Yo, dude, Randy is going to be huge in that. Ethan Suplee Lee is now a monster.
I know. We talked about it in Mallrats how he lost a lot of weight and now he's just a tank.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to seeing. Oh my god, My Name is Earl, and it's gonna be Earl like, hey, what's going on, guys? And then we're gonna see Randy, and he's gonna be a fucking monster truck.
Exactly.
It's gonna be awesome. So characters from the film would go on to later appear in the View Askew-Universe films. Most specifically, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, because that's when Bluntman and Chronic gets picked up for a movie, and then Jay and Silent Bob reboot, which Chronic and Bluntman gets picked up for a reboot, and then they gotta go stop it again. And you see all the characters, like you see Affleck, and you see Lee, and you see oh god, what's her name? Jones.
Yes.
So that's always cool.
So
direct spin-offs of Chasing Amy with those characters showing up in those movies.
I found out
sequel, they said.
So I found out with So I think outside of this movie and Strikes Back, this is the only time Banksy or Banky is here.
Yeah, I was gonna say he doesn't come back as Banky in. I mean, he might have been in the background somewhere, but he doesn't come back as Banky in the reboot or Strikes Back. He comes back.
No. He comes back in Strikes Back.
Banky's back in Strikes Back.
Yes.
I thought that was the character from Mallrats.
Oh no, it's both. There's both. Lee plays both characters in that movie.
And what about
the reboot? It's just Brody.
Really? I thought Banky was seen in the background, but then again, I might have just been thinking, Jason Lee. I know he's in this movie, so either way, good shit.
Yeah. So and also I sent you the picture.
All right, cool. I'll check it out in a sec once you start reading your notes.
Chasing Amy was originally released as a Criterion Collection Laserdisc. Oh my God!
Jesus Christ, a Laserdisc, dude! Oh no! Oh no!
Smith raised eyebrows when he recorded the running commentary for the Laserdisc in
Laserdisc, the Laserdisc.
For the Laserdisc in 1997, as he started it by saying, "This is a Laserdisc.
This is a Laserdisc.
This is a Laserdisc.
You're done."
I like to take a moment to say, "Fuck DVD." Wow.
Well, look at all of his movies on DVD.
When I think that's what Criterion released the DVD, which reused the Laserdisc running commentary, Smith recorded a specific introduction in which he apologized for the comment and jokingly attributed it to Jason Mewes.
That's funny.
Smith revealed in an early 2009 at a Q&A session in Vancouver that he had the film's cast were currently recording new material for an upcoming Criterion Blu-ray release for the film in Japan. The screenplay for Chasing Amy was adapted into a novel by a name I'm not even going to try to pronounce and published by Anomi Publishing. The unique concept of this book is that it is a rough half novel, half manga, with Moko Anoi providing the art for the comic book pages.
That's awesome.
In an episode of the Schmo...
It's the Smodcast. It's him
Smodcast.
And Scott Moser.
Okay,
he's producer.
Smodcast. Smith revealed that while he was thrilled to have a manga based on the film, he was shocked when he read the novelization, as the characters' sexual histories were just as mentioned in a conversation in the film and depicted in the novel's manga illustrations as sexually graphic flashbacks.
Oh no! We got to see finger cuffs.
Oh.
Time to find finger cuffs.
Oh no.
That's unfortunate, but also kind of cool.
Oh no. Do you want to pick up? I read the two. Have you read
where
two?
we at? So Smith originally had published this along with Clerk's script for Miramax Books. The film had no soundtrack album released, however. Many songs make an appearance in the movie, including a cover of The Cars Let Go performed by Ernie Eisel, The Impression I Get by the Mighty Mighty Boss Stones, Run House's Run DMC, and other songs by artists like Public Enemy, Hang Ups, Gwen Gunther, and Liz Phair. The two songs by band Soul Asylum featured in this film were Lucky 1 and We 3. The band had previously contributed the song Can't Even Tell to Clerks. Soul Asylum frontman Dave Pierner composed the incidental music for this film and the film's theme song, Tube of Wonderful, which plays over the opening credits. The song makes a reappearance in Jay and Silent Bob and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, both times introducing the character of Holden McNeil. And then a music video came out called Have You Seen Mary, performed by Sponge, who had several scenes in the movie. And Chasing Amy, the song is also played where Holden and Hooper are at Jack's music shop. So, not a lot of real big old notes to talk about during this episode, unfortunately. Because it's just like, it is what it is, you know? But we have enough plot and some mid-movie notes and reviews to talk about to keep this one going a little bit longer.
It's a very bare bones movie.
Well, because it's just a rom-com. Well, a rom-dramedy, I would say. As opposed
We
to
had a
rom-com.
lot of notes for 500 Days of Summer.
Because that was the first time I've seen that movie, and I was very confused. This one is just kind of like, I've seen this before, it's whatever. It's not a bad film, it's just, you know, my genuine reactions were kind of gone at that point, you know what I mean? That's why I put a lot of movies on here that I haven't seen. Because I like going, oh man, raw performances, you know?
Now, getting into the plot of this, so we got Holden McNeil and Banky Edwards are comic book artists and lifelong best friends. They met fellow comic book artist Alyssa Jones at a comic book convention, otherwise known as just New York Comic Con at that point.
Seemingly.
Where they are promoting their comic Blunt Man and Chronic. Holden is immediately attracted to Alyssa, but soon learns that she is a lesbian. The two begin spending time together, and a deep friendship develops. Holden eventually confesses his love to Alyssa. She is initially angry with him, but that night the two sleep together and begin a romantic relationship.
Yo, that cuts like a whole half of the movie right there.
It made no fucking sense.
No, that like hold on, what made no sense?
The fact of which that we go from she's angry and then he's walking away. She's like, "You're not fucking."
Well, because she loves him. That's what it is. And
I know, but like I hated how this movie like one Holden makes fucking Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character look like a saint.
I know what you mean. Holden's a bit abrasive when it comes to this kind of love stuff, and his monologue that he gives is really good during the confession scene. It's so melodramatic, and it hurts my soul.
Now, see, like what I hated was like he wanted her to feel the same thing he felt towards her, which is like, it's so fucked.
Well, I mean, he's basically saying, like, you know, I love you, and if, you know, we can't be together, I kind of don't want to be friends because, like, it hurts to be around you. And I get that. I understand that. You know, High School Hunter was like, oh, man, if we can't date, I don't know if I can talk to you anymore, just because I was like, it's going to suck. But looking back now, I'm like, dude, I was a little bitch. I don't really care.
Zach is still like that to this day.
We know, but we love Zach.
Zach still goes like, okay, I'm just gonna not talk to you for like 2 or 3 years, then we'll see what happens there.
And you rekindle it later on.
This new development though worsens the tensions between Holland and Banky. Banky resents Alyssa for coming between him and his best friend. Banky uncovers dirt on Alyssa's past, telling Holden that Alyssa once participated in a threesome with 2 men. Holden is upset by this, having believed that he was the only man Alyssa had ever slept with.
Kinda sus, if you ask me.
Holden clumsily admits to bait her into confessing, leading to an argument. She angrily confirms the threesome, but refuses to apologize for her past sexual experience.
Yeah, this is during the hockey game. And then they yell at each other in the parking lot.
Alyssa says she wishes to continue her relationship, but Holden leaves feeling unsure.
You want me to pick up after that?
I just want to riff about this. Like,
yeah,
it's
sure.
so it's
like,
fucked.
Unfortunately, the Wikipedia stuff, I don't know, we don't steal from Wikipedia, but we do, obviously. It's just, like, it runs through this film so fast. They don't even talk about Hooper.
They don't.
The gay best friend, basically. They're just like, nah, who fucking gives a shit? Bye.
Because like he really didn't play much of an important role to it.
I mean, he was kind of like this. He was kind of like the guiding point for Holden, in a way.
Yeah.
So I know what you mean by he didn't really have a big role, but like, come on, man. They didn't even talk about him, and then they also skipped over. I think no, Jay and Silent Bob show up right now. Okay, I was gonna say they skip over Jay and Silent Bob. That's what's up. But you know, it is what it is.
You know, like I want like I'm kind of happy that it goes beat by beat via like just our plots from Wikipedia. I'm happy it goes beat by beat.
It goes act by act. They're just like boom.
And like I want like hey I just did not like. These characters are so fucking unlikable. I'm sorry.
Just the 2 main characters. I feel like a lot of the side characters are very likable.
Like Banky is unlike.
Banky is unlikable for the most part because he's like an abrasive asshole, but that kind of gives him a likability to him. Like I was sitting there like, I don't hate this guy. I don't like him, but I don't hate him. As opposed to Alyssa Jones, where I'm just like, oh my god, calm down.
But now, just like with Holden, it's like I was okay. It's a good start. Then he goes like, you know what? I want to pursue someone who I know is not attracted to men, but
well, they said they shared a moment. They felt a connection. He's like, I know she's gay, but also I think she kind of likes me. So I'm gonna see where it goes. And obviously, he's not wrong. He's maybe wrong morally, but he's not wrong like mentally. He's like, oh yeah, no, it happens. Obviously,
he's wrong ethically. I'm sorry.
Ethically, that's what it is, not moral. Ethics and morals. You know, he's wrong morally and ethically. Where he's just like, let's see if I can turn this chick. I'm like, that's not how you present that, my dude. Like that is fucking crazy.
Okay, I'll pick up into more of the notes, more of the plot. Later during lunch with Jay and Silent Bob reveals that he was once in a relationship similar to Holden's. Despite the fact that he was in love with his girlfriend Amy, his anger about her adventurous sexual past led him to end the relationship. Later realizing that this was a mistake, he says he's always spent every day since then chasing Amy, so to speak.
A little on the nose with that title there, Doggy Dog. And then obviously he makes a comic book at the end called Chasing Amy, and I was like, okay then. But then he goes, it's so bad because like it's called Chasing Amy, right? And then in the book it says, and Alyssa, if you're reading this, I'm sorry wherever you are. And I'm like, it was already like obvious that you were saying it was her. You didn't have to name drop her specifically. You could have just said Amy. That's the character's name in the book, probably, right? But whatever.
See now, what I don't like is what I find funny is, so if you go into this movie blind like I did, but I knew a little bit about Chasing Amy.
I feel like everybody knows a little bit about this movie.
And you go like, no one in this film is named Amy.
Yeah. They just don't talk about it. It's all good.
You go like, where did this name come from? Then at the legit, like I think like the 1 hour mark.
It's like the third act. Like right at the start of the third act.
We get Silent Bob going, and ever since then, I spent every day chasing Amy.
Yo, he just goes chasing Amy, and Jay and Holden are like, what? He's like, chasing Amy. It's this girl, and then he goes to the whole monologue. And then I love how Jay's like, fuck this dude. Every time, people find his word as holy as God because he doesn't talk often, but it turns out he's just a bullshit baby. And I'm like, Jay, shut up. Yes, you're right, but also shut up.
Well,
no, it's just funny that every time Bob opens his mouth, it comes off as preaching in a good way. And then, Jay points it out. He's like, fuck you, dude. He's like, just because you don't talk doesn't mean your word is God. Holier than thou, blah, blah, blah. So,
do you want to pick up?
Where were we? Moved. Yeah, moved by Silent Bob's story, Holden devises a plan to fix both his relationship with Alyssa and his estranged friendship with Banky. He invites them both over and tells them... Banky lives with him. He invites them both over and tells them that he would like to get over her past and remain her boyfriend. He also tells Banky that he realized that Banky is gay and is in love with Holden. Very, very big overstep right there. Imagine, like, you're sitting down with your best friend and you're like, I know you're gay. And he just goes... don't think so. And then he's like, no, you are. And then, it's obvious, like, Jay...
he's trying to gaslight him.
Like, it's obvious that Banky's character is gay, yes. But, like, imagine just walking up to your best friend and going, you're gay. Just how that works. Anyway.
He's legit trying to gaslight him into thinking he's gay.
Yeah, so Holden then suggests a threesome. Though initially shocked, Banky agrees to participate because he's like, fuck it, whatever. And then Alyssa refuses. Reasoning that it will not save their relationship and that the proposal is offensive. And it fucking is. Alyssa and Banky both leave. Then we get a 1 year later where both Banky and Alyssa are busy promoting their own respective comics at a convention. It's revealed that Holden and Banky dissolved their partnership of Blunt Man and Chronic, the rights to which Holden now exclusively owns. Banky smiles sadly seeing Holden, who silently congratulates him for his success on his own book, Baby Dave. Banky gestures over to a booth hosted by Alyssa and provides wordless encouragement to Holden to go talk to her. He has a brief emotional conversation with Alyssa and gives her a copy of Chasing Amy, his new comic book based off their relationship. Holden then leaves, Alyssa's new girlfriend arrives and asks who she was talking to. Smiling, Alyssa replies, "Oh, just some guy I knew." Don't they have a kid in Jay and Silent Bob reboot?
I don't know.
Or is like they adopted, or it's Alyssa's kid and it's like from Holden's sperm or something like that?
I don't know, but I think like Alyssa's new girlfriend seemed like a bitch, to be honest.
She did seem kind of little, bitchy, where she was like, "Oh man, this is what you have to do when you come to work and all these sweaty people." And I'm like, and Alyssa just goes, "You wanted to be here," and I'm like, "Shut the fuck up! You asked to be here. Like, you knew what it was. You know she does comics." Like,
and then she pretty much she gets back to the table. Her water bottle is half gone already. and she's like, "Oh, who was that?" Oh, that was someone I knew.
Yeah.
Shit.
What do you mean? Or a fan? She's at a convention. People walk up to her. What do you mean? The most, like, I wouldn't have even asked. I would have just been like, "Oh, cool, another person came up. Whatever." Not fucking, "Oh, who was that?" What do you mean? You're at a convention where your girlfriend is semi-popular. I don't know how big she was comparatively to the other characters in comic book world, but like, she had a fairly high-selling book, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, who was that?" at a convention that she was invited to promote something. Very stupid dialogue. Sorry, Kevin Smith. I understand what you were coming from, but that was like the worst dialogue bit you had, where the girl was just like, "Now who is that?" Like, shut up.
Okay.
Anyway, let's get on to them reviews.
You have the least. This is the least amount of notes I've ever seen you write.
Well, yeah, it's because, like I said, I've seen this movie before, and there's really not a lot to talk about. Oh, not reviews. We're getting into our mid-movie notes. So, I only got like 10, which is surprising. So, let's start mine off. I said Mike Allred art. Nice. He's a comic book artist who did the Blunt Man and Chronic comic books in the movie, and also all the other. He did basically all of Holden's art. Mike Allred also did a phenomenal run on X-Ray Robot, X Factor, X-Statix. Allred's been around the block. Madman is his creation. You actually see Madman in the Blunt Man and Chronic comic at the beginning. Blah, 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 comic stuff. Nerd. We see Ethan Suplee Lee again, which we talked about. Awesome seeing him not reprise his role, but come back into, the game, essentially. And at the end, we see him talk about, he's like, "I used to have a comic book club back in high school, and then I had to dissolve it because we got into an argument of who looked better in tights, Elektra or Robin." And I'm just like, which side were you on, my dude?
Hey, but Robin, my guy.
Dude, Nightwing has the best butt in comic books. Quote me on that. National Cake Day was the other day, and DC released a trailer of a bunch of Nightwing butt pictures, and I was like, they know what's up.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, both got 2 new characters for people who have been in films before. This universe is crazy. Ben Affleck and Jason Lee. And also apparently Ethan Suplee Lee and one other character, Dante. And Matt Damon, technically. Holden is much better than Shannon, obviously.
Yeah.
Love this Hooper character. He shows up and he's like, basically Malcolm X for comics. And then he turns out to be gay. I totally forgot about that plot line where he's like, "I will shoot any white man." And then fucking, he's like, "Oh, hey." And I'm like, oh, that's fucking hilarious. I totally forgot about that character arc. He shows up a couple times in the movie. Mm-hmm. Hate Alyssa's voice. Sorry. Lauren Adams or Laura Jean.
That's just her fucking voice.
I know. I just didn't. Joey Lauren Adams. I just didn't like it. I know she showed up in Mallrats, but this was the first movie I saw with her in it before I watched Mallrats recently.
I think my first film with her in it was Big Daddy with Adam Sandler.
Oh, I didn't even know she was in that movie. And I've seen Big Daddy before. Weird. But I just did not. I don't like her voice. It's too high pitched. Every time she had like a drama moment, I was just like, "Is she a mouse? What's happening?" Like, okay. I don't know, man. That's just me. I didn't like her voice. She's a great actress. It's just I don't know. Dramas maybe not for her. Put her in a comedy. She was great in Mallrats.
And she was good in Big Daddy for the most part.
Yeah, I got to rewatch that one. I said Ben Affleck is good in this film. He plays a whiny bitch, but he has a great performance in this film. You cannot say he did not have a good performance.
Oh no, I'm not gonna deny that.
Yeah. Next note, Matt Damon, LOL. He just shows up sitting there next to Dante. He's one of the movie guys one of the TV show guys that wants to get the Jay and Silent Bob TV show off the ground. Mm-hmm. This is the scene where Ben Affleck is in the car and he's preaching his like relationship quarrels, and I was like, this man is Batman. Nothing crazy about this film. It's great but cheesy but melodramatic for little to no reason. I'll get more into that later. And my final note is Earl is great here too. I know it's not Earl, it's Jason Lee, and he plays Earl, but I said Earl is great. Dude, Banky's character is probably my favorite character in this entire film. I think he, like, and like, I mean, I don't approve of what he did by digging up dirt, and I understand, like, he liked or loved, it's not really 100% confirmed, Holden, but it is interesting to see, you know, like, his storyline through the eyes of Holden, where he's just this jealous best friend, and he's got these slurs that he shouldn't be saying, and
it's also a friend looking out for someone who he calls a brother, pretty much.
Oh, for sure. Like if one of my buddies or you even like fucking got into like, you know, a relationship that I saw to be weird and toxic, I'd be like, hey man, maybe don't do this, you know. I mean, you don't have to listen to me, but I would still suggest it, nonetheless.
Now, I guess time for my movie notes.
Hop into your notes. I'm excited to see what your notes are, because you do not like this movie like at all. I mean, you didn't give it a bad rating. You just gave it. I mean, I would say it's an okay rating.
Yeah,
hit us with what you got, Chief Keef.
Start off with Blunt Man and Chronic. Just gotta put that out there. I think this was when Ethan Suplee was doing. Saying like it's like Bill and Ted meets Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, that's
what he was comparing Blunt Man and Chronic to. Mm-hmm. Here it is. 13 minutes in, and this film has not aged well at all.
That's the first time Jason Lee says the F word, probably, right?
Yes, he says the F slur a lot.
I think they say it like 5 or 6 times throughout this entire film. I think Jay says it. I know Banky says it 3 times. Holden says it once. And I think Hooper says it too.
So this is a fun thing that I noticed, and I don't think you did. So in the bar scene when Holden and Alyssa are playing darts, there are bathrooms behind them. Mm-hmm. A guy walked out the women's bathroom, and then a girl walks out the men's bathroom.
Okay.
It's just it's a fun little weird thing that I noticed.
I didn't even notice the bathrooms were labeled. I saw the people walk out. I thought they were just like walking out of the bathroom in general.
They were
I didn't
labeled.
know that they were labeled. That's funny.
Inkers need more respect.
They're just tracers. No, they are.
They do.
No. I'm just joking. Inking is like a huge, It's a hard thing to do because it's not just tracing. Yes, if you really boil it down, it's tracing. But there's a lot that goes into it. Because if you fuck up the artwork, they have to redo the whole page. At least back in the day. Now it's digital, so it's not as bad. But it's still like, you know, it is a craft. You also do most of the shading, too. The colorist doesn't shade, you shade.
And then, a call back to Clerks where she goes like, oh, I know that Quick Stop. My friend fucked a dead guy there.
Mm-hmm. And then they talk about the dead girl.
Yeah, and, that's pretty cool.
We even see Quick Stop when Jason Lee's talking about that story with finger cuffs.
It's still so weird seeing that place in color.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we see there's only black and white in one movie. We see it in color literally every other movie. I think.
But actually, there's that fun joke in Reboot where they go to the Clerks panel and they're all in black and white.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Then also, I loved Banky's reaction to her being a lesbian. He just starts clapping.
Dude, I liked the Banky and what's her name, Alyssa stories about. Yeah, there we go. You got it right up here. Talking about eating out, dude. The stories, the battle scars, fucking hilarious, dude.
Then he goes like, oh yeah, I refuse to eat a girl out. Okay, guys. You need to return the favor if they give you head.
Yeah, you want head, you have to return the head.
Yes, don't be an asshole. But now the battle scars of eating out, that's some funny shit.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
That probably was like one of my favorite funny scenes out of the film.
Dude, my favorite one was the car one. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, right, there's also Banky showing porn to the kid in the
Oh,
train
that was
station.
funny. That was funny. Hey, you got Matt Damon in here too.
Yep. And then after Matt Damon, I said that this film is dragging, in my opinion.
It does a little bit for a while, but then it kicks it back up.
Holden is on many levels of wrong for trying to get with a girl who is not interested in men for the most part. And then, so, me being the eagle eye movie
I did not
goer
notice this at all.
that I am. So, in the scene when he's walking back to the car, I think like just before he hits his car, you can see a reflection in like a store door.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the camera crew doing the follow shot with him.
That's fucking funny. I love how you notice a lot of that shit, because I would have never picked up on that. I would have been like, yeah, whatever.
I'm very eagle-eyed when it comes to that stuff.
I bet. Well, you're a big cinema guy, so I just like watching movies. You're like all into it.
And then out of some of the relationships we've seen, this feels the most unrealistic with the outcome. And I legit know, like, we have seen about a few movies that involve relationships and stuff. I'll list off the ones real quick. So 500 Days of Summer, that felt the most realistic out of all of them.
I would say yeah.
The Night Before, kind of.
They had a decent relationship in there. Another Joseph Gordon-Levitt film.
And then
Elf.
Nah.
Elf is a rom-com. You cannot tell me it's not.
About a son and his dad.
No, Zoe Deschanel's in there.
But no, like, this movie felt the most unrealistic with a relationship outcome.
Yeah, it was a bit weird. I was like, okay then.
And then her friend's acting like she can't be bi.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
They're just like, oh, no.
They were like, honey. I was like, what the fuck are you on about right now?
And then this was the argument scene. I said, fuck that argument scene between Holden and Alyssa. It did not feel genuine. Did not feel like an authentic scene.
Yeah, no, it just felt like, they both it felt like they were both just yelling at each other and they weren't actually talking. And in fights, you actually have to talk to people. You can't just scream like a little baby.
Yeah.
So.
And
to be fair, Holden was being a dick. I'm not defending Holden.
Oh yeah, well,
I'm just not defending
Holden.
either of them. I think they're both wrong.
Silent Bob's scene is the only saving grace of this film.
That's facts.
And then
not 100% facts, but it's very high facts.
I said these characters are so unlikable.
Facts.
And so the nod to Death in the Family comic with Blunt Man and Chronic with Blunt Man dying.
No, Chronic dying.
Chronic dying?
Blunt Man is Bob, I think, and Chronic is Jay, and Chronic was dead.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
I believe so.
So we're Chronic dying,
yeah.
Or I'll look it up real quick. Hold on.
Let's double check, because I believe Blunt Man is Bob. I could be wrong. I always used to mix them up.
Blunt Man and
Chronic.
Chronic is Kevin Smith.
Lola? No.
Hey, Lola.
Really? Big surprise on that one.
And Blunt Man is Muse. I go up by the shirts because there's a blunt on Muse, and then the pot leaf on Smith.
Mm.
So yeah, I love the nod to Death in the Family. That's probably one of my favorite comics that I think I may have read it. I think I read like the New 52 version of it.
Yeah, Death in the Family is solid. That was Death of the Family. That was when Joker tries to kill everybody. Yeah. Just to piss off Bruce. Death in the Family is when Jason Todd gets killed.
And then we get
Red Hood, which is like years later. That was years later though. So.
Well, yeah, guys, like I just like the subtle nod to that, and also like I just thank you, Silent Bob, for saving the film with your monologue.
It's terrible that that's your only saving grace. There's a couple. I see your point. I'm not saying you're not. I'm saying you're wrong, but like there are more just to that. But I don't like this film that much, so I'm not giving it
I'm surprised
praise.
with the rating of this film. I'll read off the review of it.
Yeah.
Chasing Amy received positive reviews from critics. Review aggregation websites, Rotten Tomatoes reports an approval rating of 87%.
That's crazy.
Based off of 84 critics, with an average review of 7.31 out of 10.
Someone said that's too high. Us, we'd say it.
According to the site's summary of critical consensus, Chasing Amy explores gender roles, sexual mores, and limits of friendships with a mixture of sensitivity, raw honesty, and director and screenwriter Kevin Smith's signature raunchy humor.
Oh, for sure. I could see that.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree.
I see what they mean. I don't share the same opinion.
On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average of 71 out of 100 based off of 28 reviews. Audience polled by CinemaScore gave this film a grade of an A-.
Nice.
I think a lot of this is way too generous for this film. I'm sorry, it's way too fucking generous.
No, I know what you mean. It's just I don't know. I feel like if we watched it at the time and we were old enough to appreciate it at the time it came out.
Yeah.
I feel like we would have liked it a little bit more, but rewatching it now, besides it being dated with its dialogue, it just doesn't feel like, we've both been in relationships. It just doesn't feel like it's a real relationship. They fight about, it's a serious topic they're fighting about, but they don't fight properly, if that makes sense. I've always been told to fight, but also talk. You're supposed to, talk it out with your significant other. You're not supposed to just cry like a baby for a year. You know what I mean?
And then another thing is, also, we're watching these films more with a critical eye.
I mean, you more so than me. I try to just have fun with this stuff, but there are some things I do get critical about.
Well, it's if we look at this, I'm the straight man on this podcast, and you're the...
Oh, obviously.
And now, hey, I get to say Hunter's line. Hunter, since you gave this a better review than I did, do you want to read the good review?
Yeah, sure. So, Certified Fresh from Jay Boyar of the Orlando Sentinel. As in Smith's debut film Clerks, there's something about the scruffy Chasing Amy that breaks through the pretenses of more conventional movies. I totally get it. There's a lot of good stuff to like about this movie, but there's also a lot of equally bad stuff that we think shines more through. This isn't the worst movie in the View Askew universe. It's just not our favorite.
I found these reviews. I want to look at reviews that definitely we would that I reflected off by your review, and then also me going off by the notes that I took.
Yeah. And
then the bad review, which is Rotten from Gary Thomas on the Philadelphia Daily News. The movie reinforces its gift for dialogue, but its ability to handle actors, compose scenes, or keep track of its own story is neglectable.
I can see what he means. I think the direction is still good in this film, though. I think Kevin Smith knows what he's doing in this film, as compared to other films he's done before. With Mallrats, I was like, what's happening?
Hunter, if you want to read your review first, and I'll read my review.
Yeah, so do you want me to do my review and then my explanation, or are we just gonna... Okay.
Yeah.
So I gave this 5 finger cuffs out of 10. The reason that I gave it 4 is I don't like Alyssa's character almost at all. There's barely any redeeming qualities for her. I said Holden is a twat. The plot is a bit disheveled, and Silent Bob's monologue doesn't hit like the others, but still feels so personal. So it's not the worst monologue he's ever given. It's just, it feels too personal to be relatable.
No, I can agree. And
usually a lot of the Silent Bob, dialogue monologues are relatable to, rather than just the situation at hand, it's also relatable to, the audience as a whole.
Yeah. And for me, I think I gave this a 4.5 Intergalactic Civil War out of 10. Because I kind of like that dialogue between Hooper and Banky.
Yeah.
Then I since this is a whole new segment, by the way, guys. To also fill in time for us, we're gonna give our ratings explained.
Well, I already gave mine.
Oh yeah, well this is what we're gonna do from here on out, I guess, if we can't really.
Well, it depends on if we we'll give it more of an explanation if it feel like we should. Because this movie, is rated more highly than we gave it. So I feel like we need to give us a little bit. We need to give them more of an explanation onto why we did not like it as much as most people.
Then my rating explained is the characters are so unlikable. Silent Bob saves the movie by the 0.5 for the Chasing Amy story. Holden is a douche. Banky is a bigger douche. And Alyssa is nice, but she could have been written better, in my opinion. She could have been she definitely could have been written a little bit better.
Yeah, she comes off as like she's gay and bi for the sake of this movie progressing a plot forward. They don't really give her a lot of like actually emotional scenes, except for the beginning when she's making out and then when she's crying about Holden later on. Like she doesn't really have like a lot of here's this character doing what she does. It just feels weak.
I think my favorite like non-comedy scene or scene involving Alyssa is the Banky and Holden argument scene where he goes, if you say another thing about her, I'm going to punch your teeth down your throat. Mm-hmm. Like that argument definitely feels genuine.
Oh, for sure.
It feels really good.
It feels like I would have that conversation with one of my buddies if they were insulting my lady. I'd be like, you need to shut the actual fuck up. Like, this is not what we're dealing with right now. Yeah. I like that stuff. I guess
that will do it for us today. This is probably...
that'll close us out.
Yeah, this probably is our first time having a 40-minute episode.
Oh, no, we've had a couple episodes like that in the past. It's just we didn't have a lot of notes to talk about. This was, the third movie in the View Askew universe. We do have the fourth movie being Dogma planned for the future, but we have other stuff that we have to get through first before we do hit the Dogma mark.
We finally have a schedule.
Yeah, we have our schedules back again, because I just sat down and went, fuck it, let's make a schedule. And then coming in August, we have our year anniversary, which we'll be talking about our year-end review. Basically just... do you want it to be a bonus episode, or do you want it to be like one of the weekly episodes?
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, I guess.
Sounds good. And then we have a special month coming up in September.
Yes.
So, Zachy boy, close us out, por favor.
Thank you guys for listening. You can follow us on Instagram at BoxOfficeLosers and on Twitter at BoxOfficeLoser, not with an S. For up-to-date news, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe on Apple and wherever you can find podcasts. Leave a review. It helps us. Share it with your friends. Definitely does help us. We have noticed an uptick in views here and there. But yeah, we do all appreciate you guys, and we will catch you all next week.
But before we go, Zachary, where can we find you on the internet?
Oh wow, fuck! I forgot about that.
We didn't do plugs today.
Wow. You can follow me at Dark Shadow Zake literally everywhere. You can also find me on the Sports Hit List every Thursday as a contributor for the AEW Injection. Well, I can't really call it a contributor. That is a show that I created and I host with Mr. No Days Off. Other than that, where can they find you, Hunter? I almost forgot about this. Wow.
You're usually the guy that reminds me. You can find me at Scruffy Mooseman on all social media platforms. You can find me every other Tuesday at Pound That Button, a gaming podcast that I do with my two buddies from high school. You can find me every Wednesday at Android's Amazing Podcast, which is a comic book podcast I host through the comic book store that I work at, Android's Amazing Comics. And every Thursday, you can find me at Farthest Galaxy. It's a Star Wars podcast I do with one of the hosts from Pound That Button, big Star Wars fans going in hard. And then obviously every Friday, here. Thank you guys so much for listening and dealing with us. Also, keep watching that Be My Cat, a film for Anne.
Oh, yes.
Please keep watching that episode. That's one of our favorites.
That for some reason, like I said, it out of nowhere, you were like 1 week, oh, it's at 43 views, nice. Then check
Next
back
week
to
jumps
it.
up another 50.
And then then jumps up another 60. Now we're at like 158 views.
Yeah, that's crazy. Thank you guys so much for watching that one.
Thank you.
All right, now, guys. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I pushed her away. So I spent every day since then chasing Amy.